Okay, so the third mechanism, oh, I need to get rid of this. Structural change, composition effects, and rebound. So Solo's third mechanism, it's like a resource input gets expensive or scarce. What can we do? The third thing we can do is like stop buying stuff which relies on that resource. In other words, if, for instance, fossil fuel gets expensive, we can stop flying and buy more education instead, say. How exactly does this mechanism work? How important is it? And so on. We want to build a model and see how well we can do in explaining the data and so on. First, a bit of background. Okay, growth and structural change. What am I thinking here? So in general, we know that with growth, it's not just about more of the same. Okay, if we look back 100 years, we're not 10, 15 times richer because we consume 10, 15 times more of the same stuff we consumed then, right? We consumed similar amounts of food, but a lot more of some completely other different products that we didn't have at all, like iPhones or whatever. We didn't have at all 100 years ago. Okay. So clearly, just looking as a sort of amateur at the economy, it's clear that this could be really important in general. Okay. That if we have a model that treats growth as just more of the same, it's surely missing some important stuff. And all the models we've looked at so far, they have treated growth as just more of the same, right? It's just this one product. Why? Why do we need changes in the composition of consumption to explain the energy data? So that's what I've already talked about, right? That if this is Y and this is AL and this is AR, this is a log scale, so these are constant growth rates. If AR is tracking AL, then R should be constant along with L. But in reality, we know that AR seems to track AL or even grow faster. If it grows faster, then R should go down. But despite AR growing like this, R also seems to grow more or less the same. So what is going on? Why is the efficiency we see with regard to specific products not reflected in the efficiency of overall production? If there's only one product, you just can't explain this. Okay, it must be to do with shifts between products. What might drive the shift between products? So the data suggests we've shifted towards energy intensive products. Okay, why might that be? It could be that energy intensive products got cheaper, or it could be that our incomes went up and rich people like energy intensive stuff. So maybe flying got cheaper. Flying is energy intensive. We shifted into flying. That drove up energy use. Maybe we got richer and rich people like flying. Okay. Why is this important? Why can't we just tax carbon and relax? Well, in some cases it's really hard to tax carbon, and we might look for what we call second best policies. One second best policy would be like encourage research to boost resource efficiency. But research to boost resource efficiency might, in flying say, might make flying cheaper, and if that substitution effect is important, that might lead to a lot more flying and not lead to the outcome we're looking for. But on the other hand, if it's mainly driven by an income effect, then encouraging AR will be effective. Okay. Increasing the efficiency of flights won't have much effect on flight demand because that is driven by incomes, not the price, but it will lead to lower fuel use per flight. If it's a substitution effect, if that is crucial, then we're back to an emissions tax. Okay, so that is a quick summary of some background. A bit more background. So you should have a look at this paper by Sager. Let's see why this link. Okay, that link takes us to the actual paper. I'm not going to show you the paper, but you should follow the link and have a look. The figure 2 in Sager shows that the CO2 content of the average US household's consumption was pretty flat over a recent 15-year period. But if technology hadn't improved, emissions and everything else had been the same, emissions would have gone up a lot per dollar. Okay. So this shows the powerful reduction in emissions intensities through technological progress. So that is basically showing, yeah, AR grew. If we held AR constant, emissions would have gone up. Okay. But then the really interesting one is figure 3. This is telling us something new. If we fix both technology and expenditure, so if we look at a particular household that across the period is spending the same amount on an annual basis, then the 2009 consumption basket of that household is 40% more emissions intensive than the 1996 basket. So over time, households are shifting into more emissions intense consumption baskets. At the same time, we have a countervailing increase in AR, which is pushing down emissions. Okay, so we've got these two processes acting against each other. So this is supporting the hypothesis that I'm putting forward, right? That over time we're shifting into, or we have been shifting into energy intense consumption categories, which is pushing up emissions and negating to some extent or even overpowering the effect of increasing energy efficiency. But we still don't know what's driving that. Sager's paper is like an accounting exercise. We don't know the driving forces, okay? Right. I think I will just make that a quick video.